Hello, ladies and gentlemen! Welcome to, I believe the title of this video is going to be Troublesome Trio, which is a nickname for a batch, a gaggle of tanks that I've hand-picked and reared in one of the tanks. And they're called as such because of many things. There's 20 of them, for one thing, so trio, and because the rule of three applies to them in multiple situations. They are only good in one of three situations. If they encounter one of these three situations, then they excel at what they do. However, when they don't, they're broadly mediocre or maybe even bad. They suffer from the consequences of chance, of that perfect scenario not unfolding. They don't have the versatility to cover the ground that they need to adapt to a situation that hasn't transpired. They're very complicated tanks to understand, and even more complicated to consistently perform well in. So what I'd figure is that because these tanks do well in one of three situations, if I play all three of them, then logic would dictate that I'll have a good game in at least one of them. So we're going to start off with the Mouse, the Sultan, the king of the tech tree, and mourning that a tank that came before, one tier before it, has better frontal armor than it, but yeah. Let's just like wargaming for that one. So, what do we got? 200mm of frontal armor, 185 at the side, 160 at the rear, 240 at the front of the turret, which is 10mm less thick than the E100. E100 actually has angling on the turret. Mouse, it's got a slant, so you can find a front flat plate on it. You can get effective armor on the front of the mouse turret to about 240, whereas the E100 flat is 270 because of the angling that's patented on the turret. Whereas the E100 has 150 at the side and the mouse has 210 at both the side, and the linear E100 has 150 at the linear as well for reference. And that dictates the playstyle of the mouse. You've got to angle this thing's turret even more so than the E100. The E100 is basically a king of simplicity when it comes to angling. Really, once you get the basic idea, you just point the turret in the same direction as the hull and angle away, maybe wiggle it and aim at people when you want to shoot them in the face. Whereas the mouse, you can add a bit more angle to that. Let's say I'm angling perfectly against an enemy tank on my left, and right now I angle my hull like this. I can angle my turret like this and still provoke bounces off of the side of my turret, which is what we'll see coming up, I hope. And you're going to feel blessed when you get Ensk in a mouse. 600m map. I mean, the curse of the mouse is basically its top speed comparative to the E100, which is a very heavy tank and is the more popular of the two German heavies. It's got a speed limit of 30. Now, while that may not seem on paper to be that remarkable, in stark comparison to a mouse, it gives a massive advantage. Seriously, that extra level of flexibility that's given by that top speed should not be underestimated. It really does come into play more often than you would think. So, let's see if we can get stuck in, shall we? I'm guessing from the fact that E100 didn't butter the flat armor of the Type 4 Heavy that he is not in fact firing heat yet. So that's good for me. I have achieved happiness. I'm kind of wanting to test my armor at this point. There we go. T110E4 bounces flat off armor. T110E4's got 290mm pen, and that feels good to bounce. It really does. Wow. Unlucky. Wow. Seriously? Holy heck, man. Okay, so if someone is firing heat at you, I think I recommend over-angling your tank. Or at least angling your side armor, due to the fact that it's spaced. And does this 260 really want to continue this fight? One of the great things about the mouse is the fact that you can hold. You can take a bit of damage and afford to keep going. That's why I love this tank. It just feels so nice to play it. It's cathartic to just be sitting there in a tank that you know can take a bit of a beating, can do some stuff, is worth the time that you put in to grind it out. And I mean, I'm gonna get my ass kicked here because we're surrounded on all flanks and we've lost every single flank in the entire map because team. Oh jeez. Not worried about the pattern or the tortoise for that matter. Alrighty. Ah, there goes my Dystonia again. Using the perfect angling of the mouse, put your turret away from your opponent until you're ready to shoot them. And normally I would not be able to compete in any manner against the tortoise in a heavy tank. In an E100, I would probably struggle. However, the mouse can probably lam it to death, I'm not going to lie. Okay, no idea how the tortoise managed to pen that, but whatever. Can I justify this slow clap? Wait. There was no hope. Let me just clarify. There was absolutely no hope of us winning in the town, right? Because they had the entirety of their team there. Okay? So, like, we had no chance. All we had to do was hold because they had a massively superior force in the town. So, knowing that, and knowing that it's impossible for them to have more than 15 tanks, how in God's green earth does the other flank completely collapse? If it's absolutely impossible for us to even have a hope, a prayer of winning one flank, how? Alright, moving on. The T95, yet another troublesome trio candidate. It excels in one situation, and one situation only. Finds itself a linear passageway against tanks that don't really know how to handle it, and keeps going forward and keeps shooting. That's what you gotta endeavour to find day after day, game after game in this tank. But as corridor-based as maps, as the meta maps has evolved in World of Tanks, it's still hard to find that consistently game after game. And more often than not, you're gonna find yourself a meal for a more mobile tank, or just people spamming heat, although you can counter that in this tank quite easily. Let's see what we can do with it, shall we? 305mm of frontal armor, 152 at the side, but double tracks, so it's got to count for something. 50 at the rear. 50. So for all you guys out there, and your British heavies and your British medium tanks, although the wonderful Hesh shells with 105mm of pen and 480 alpha damage, or on the Conqueror and stuff like that, 120mm of pen and 515 alpha damage. If you ever find yourself in the marvellous position up the ass of a Doom Turtle, you're in the money. Just shoot straight here. T49s as well. You may think, oh no, T95, it's so well armoured. Well, you have 76mm of pen with your standard HE shells with 910 average damage. You plant one up the ass of this tank and it will do half its health. This thing isn't designed to get shot in the ass, which is one of the main reasons for my equipment loadout. I use 105 gasoline as opposed to a fire extinguisher, mainly because the only way I'm going to really get set on fire in this tank, which doesn't happen often from my experience, is getting shot in the ass. And generally, if I'm getting shot in the ass, I'm going to die anyway. I don't encounter a lot of situations where I let someone get behind me and it's not in an endgame situation where I'm surrounded. I generally always have enough awareness to keep abreast of the situation and keep that control, which is what you've got to do in this tank. Also, 2 repair kits. Getting tracked in this tank will lead to an untimely demise. Also, repairs. I use the small repair kit and a large repair kit. I will always use the small repair kit first, because the large repair kit, as well as healing more than one module, it also actually boosts or takes away from the time it takes to repair your modules, which every little helps in this tank. And my repair speed in this tank takes about 3 seconds, something like that. I've been accused of hacking because of my repair speed in this tank, which I find hilarious, to be honest. It was an M103, bless his heart, decided that he was gonna track me and outflank me. That poor American bastard. He died. One of the fantastic things about having this good a repair skill, as well as the large repair kit, is that even tier 10 mediums, Object 140s, Object 430s, will find it challenging to keep you perma-tracked in this tank. You'll always be able to have that flexibility, that adaptability. You'll always be able to take the fight back to your opponents, and it gives them a real challenge because no one expects it. They track this tank and they think, oh right, it's cannon fodder, I can go in and I can just whack its face, right? No one really expects for you to have a fully qualified repair skill and to get that track back up instantly, and it instantly puts the pressure on them without you having to actually have any knowledge, any fantastic epiphanies about the playstyle of the tank. It's just your natural abilities in this tank complement the playstyle so elegantly and perfectly, and it's just wonderful. Well, gonna go out on a limb and state that this is one of the 3 situations in which this tank sucks and cannot excel in any way, which is kind of the point of this video, maybe. I don't know. Perhaps I could say that I've achieved something. The point of the video has been fulfilled by me having trap games in a Doom Turtle. However, I don't really believe that. Where the hell is this guy? Is he up? That would have been nice, wouldn't it? Oh! Oh, Tonks! Please stay there and beat Tonks. No? Okay. So, the curse of these tanks, as I said before, 1 out of 3 situations. Let's talk about the Doom Turtle's situations that it encounters. This is situation number 1, if you like. Your team is competent, and they don't need you. And you go through the game, no matter how skilled you are, no matter how epic and unicorn you may be, you can do nothing. The severe limitations that dampen the quality of your tank are just emphasized to such an extent by the gameplay that you're just completely helpless to do anything. Barely getting 1 shot of damage in the game is a blessing, and it's much appreciated. The other situation is that you get your ass kicked. Your team just crumble and die around you, and you achieve absolutely nothing because you've got no support. You just get surrounded and you die. And then there's the game I talked about earlier, where you are perfect. You find a nice linear passageway with a lot of small, helpless tanks that in no way should be competing frontally with a Doom Turtle, and yet they don't decide to relocate or adapt their gameplay or choose another way to engage. No, they sit there in front of the Doom Turtle waiting for it to slowly come towards them and kick their ass. Now, I don't know if that situation is becoming more and more unique as the skill level in World of Tanks gets higher. I would hope not, because as a Doom Eternal player, you live for those environments, those blessed situations that the gods of World of Tanks occasionally drop on you out of nowhere. And most of the time, or 2 out of 3 times, it's going to end up something like this. Oh, this ought to be exciting. Oh. I like him. Oh. I have it. Do you believe in the turtle? Do you believe in the turtle? Shh. Come on. I can do it. Every moment. Every push of the R function led up to this moment. I will make the shot. I will. Shh. No, you feckin' bitch! Sat there with your feckin' DBM, your feckin' air shells, and your feckin' mobility. I'm jealous of a tortoise's mobility. Well, oh boy, I tell you what. Do I cut this gameplay? Do I like edit it out or? No, you know what? I'm gonna leave it for dramatic effect, like stark realities. It's like supermodels, you know. All these Maxim covers and Vogue of these perfect people with their perfect skin and perfect tan that supposedly look like that every day. No, this is the harsh realities of the world. This is what happens. These unicums to playing the gameplay to you. 6 kills, Colabanos medal, whatever. It's bullcrap. It's all media, paparazzi, all these people, they try and sell you the best so that you try and aspire to be what you can never be. But for us out in the field, this is what it's like. Every day, trials, day after day after day, and you gotta fight through it because it doesn't just happen to you. You're not alone in your gameplay, and this... I'm gonna stop that. Okay, so, I just picked a medium tank. Yeah. Mouse, T95, medium tank. Hear me out. The mod 1 is something I do not recommend for making money. The consistency of this tank is like tar. It occasionally will drip, but most of the time it just meh. That was a terrible analogy. I apologize on the behalf of analogies anyway. The tank has 220mm of effective front armor. It's 120 at the front, 90 at the side, 10mm thicker than the T-54. But the thing about this tank does not get preferential matchmaking. Its gun brings shame to all Russian 100mm guns that have ever existed. It's got poor aim time, poor accuracy, and even though they buffed this tank massively in terms of gun performance, it still really sucks. And the reason it sucks so much is because if you want to make money in this tank, okay, it's got armor. It's got armor such that in a tier 8 game, it's ridiculously overpowered. It is completely and utterly retardedly overpowered. If you're engaging tier 7 or tier 6 vehicles, they have not a prayer in hell of doing anything but scratching the quite nice paint job on the front of this tank. It's awesome in a tier 8 game. It's absolutely awesome. However, in a tier 9 game, it starts to suck. It starts to show its true colours. The lack of penetration, the lack of aim time, the lack of accuracy start to rear their head a little bit when you're shooting at T10s, E50s, Object 430 version 2s. You have to sit out in front of them and aim, and they don't really care that you've got really good frontal armor at tier 8, and that just goes to to really enforce and show you and highlight the weak areas of your tank. And then you get into a tier 10 game, where if you're to have a hope in hell of penning an enemy tank, you have to spend the full 2.3 seconds, I think, aiming just to bounce. The pen of this tank is abysmal, and yet it gets into tier 10 games. And you thought the weak spots of this tank were emphasized and made clear in a tier 9 game. In a tier 10 game, those tanks will eat you for breakfast. And they won't even burp. Okay, now if this guy fires AP, I'm fairly confident about being able to bounce him. However... Oh, God. I wanted to defend this flank because it's the most important area on the map, but clearly my team knows better and is defending the lowest ground in the entire map because it gives them a positional advantage over the enemy. I'm sorry, that was Wolf's sarcasm code for they kind of suck. So, yeah. Sorely tempted to jump on someone, but that one won't view this tank very well. It's not a good tank. It's not a good tank. I judge tanks... I feel like a more fitting analysis of the tank is how well it does in the top tier game. How well it can keep up against tanks that theoretically should overqualify it by a wide margin. Tanks like the G54 keep up with tier 10 vehicles. Tanks like the 416 have the mobility, the DPM and the adaptability to find their place in a tier 10 game. Admittedly, low hit points, they have their disadvantages, but they can excel using what strengths they have. Whereas the Mod 1 excels in a way that just goes completely out the window in a tier 10 game, and it doesn't have enough advantages that make it adaptable. The speed of this tank is underwhelming, 44 km/h top speed. It doesn't have the mobility to do what a tank would normally do when it's outmatched, of outflank, access the weak spots, change the engagement in your favour. It's not that much of a medium tank, it's an adaptable heavy. So it can't change the status quo in gameplay, which is so important when you're in your medium tanks and you're trying to compete with tanks that are higher tier than you. And it really is a shame, because I think if this tank had a speed limit of 50, maybe, then it would really be good. But it's just 4G4 is pretty much the worst at the tier, second to worst, second only to the bloody Centurion 1, the British tier 8 heavy. I'm quite willing to keep poking at this guy if he's gonna continue to be distracted by me. I'm not gonna waste my shells because there's no chance I pen him. Both his cupolas are 248mm thickness. Wow, my dude. Not sure if you're brave or stupid. I'll let you know in a moment. Oh, Scorpion! Alright, let's do some stuff. Hey, buddy. I'm gonna go with stupid. Just now that I've got the confirmation, it was in fact stupid. Oh, T10 is making me horny. Oh, I just want to fly. I want to be so majestic. I want to spread my tracks and fly. God damn. So maybe it's instinct to fire shots like that when I'm in a Russian medium tank. You know, it seems alien to me, the concept that this tank can miss shots like that. Oh. Fun sir, might I lend a hand? Oh boy. Joe, Mr. 1815, I would like to lend you a hand as well, if I may. 1815's not had his ass kicked by this guy yet, which is good. Wow, yeah, you go, you British bugger, you! Look at him! Oh, no. Bad 430 version 2. Yeah! Damn it! I wanted to save him. How the fuck have I got 6 kills? The theory works! If you play the Troublesome trio, 1 out of 20 times you're gonna have a good game. Oh my word, I can actually win! I'm a genius! Okay, alright. Yay! Alright, I don't want to go down to the beach because I'm pretty sure the Ferdinand's still on the high ground and the Scorpion seems keen on doing stuff. So I'm going to go and see if I can help him. Look at the speed of this tank. Oh, just all manner of flexibility is lost. Okay, so Ferdinand in here. View range is not exceptional right now. Hopefully the camera engine can do something though. Let us see. Alright, so question. Do I do something with the help of the scorp? Oh god. Oh. That's my cue, bitches. That's my cue. Oh. I'm a coming! Oh. I've got ideas right now. Whether they're good or bad ideas, I'm not really sure, but... Nice move, buddy, potentially. I am not going to sit on the edge there. That is one of the stupidest things that I could ever do. Let's go take out the arty. These guys are going to take an absolute age crawling up into base. So if I can go and help that Scorpion... Oh, he's doing well on his own at the moment. Scorpion, please don't be a noob. Okay, I've got to get to the edge now then. Scorpion! Oh my god. Okay, alright. Let's see. What's my pen again? 183. Oh! Thank you! Thank you, God of Dystonia! My God! Oh! Oh. Okay. So I need to know where this guy is. I need to know. If he stays on the low ground, he's a fool, and I shall probably eat him. Oh. Doobie-doobie-doo. Okay, where the hell are you? So, should I do it, guys? Should I make the play? I'm gonna do it. What's like with that balls? Manliness! Yeah. Good. Oh. Leaving. Oh. Okay, gonna make a play here. He's gonna come around the corner. And I'm gonna be on these side of the rocks. He's gonna go outside, I'm gonna kill him. I can't waste time here. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh God. Please. Please, no pig. Please. Please. Oh. Oh. I want win. I want win. I want good game for YouTube. I want English lessons. Okay. No point in loading HE. I won't one-shot him anyway. I mean, hell, this is where the armor might come in handy, right? I mean, I should be able to take a hit from it. Should be able to. Come on, get your ass in gear! Fuck, that's your medium tank. Where are you? Where are you? Please still be here, please. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I can't get to the cap in time if he's not here. I can't. And I've lost, ladies and gentlemen. I have lost. G, Virgin G. Well, it was a good game, wasn't it? Lively Waters out of a defeat. Well, not defeat, a tie. But yeah, that's gotta be depressing as all due hell. There's no chance. There's no chance. No chance in hell, I tell you. This pig will have run for the hills because that's what cowardly pigs do. That's how they end up costing people like me the game who actually use skill and tactics and awareness. Things like that. I'm gonna go straight through the cap because I want him to come and do something. I want him to, you know. Come on. Gonna go to the middle, it's my best chance. Got awareness on both sides, you know. At the blackness, if on the T10, couldn't have done any more than I did. And yet, I'm not going to win, because pigs! I love this game! Just disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. My God. I hate you and your entire species. I wish you would all go and die in a hole. Not you, I'm sure you're finally a nice fellow, but your tank! Everything about it, everything that it does to the bloody game. Alright. So, gentlemen, that was the Troublesome trio, and I've proven the theory to be correct, that if you play all three of these tanks, then in one of them, you're gonna have a good game. It's science, and maths, and stuff like that. So, should you desire, go out and play these tanks, because, hell, Lively Waters, eh? Hang on. Let me get... I started off that game by saying how crap the Mod 1 was. And it is, by the way. It really sucks in a Tier 9 game. I'm just good. Wow, that sounds like I'm a real asshole now, doesn't it? But it is. There's not another... I could have done the same thing in any other tank. I didn't use any of my armor. Blocked nothing. My armor did nothing. It was pointless me being in the Mod 1 here. Could have been in a Panther 2, in a... Like, I would have more versatility, have more flexibility, would have probably been able to find this arty at the end, because I would have been able to go a lot faster, so... The Mod 1, really sucks. I don't recommend it at all. There are far better premium tanks for making money and for consistent gameplay. SCM-50G, CDC, Patriot. The Patriot's basically... It goes faster. It goes about the same speed, has a better gun with far better pen, far better rate of fire. Then, yeah, it has better gun definition and better armor. So, yeah. GG, fellas. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time. Farewell.